Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, and thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Just so for fans and listeners, this is the authors of The Orchid, The Secret Code of the Goddess. Is that what the whole title? A Modern Goddess.
Of Modern Goddesses,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. I loved it. I watched a little bit of your YouTubes and whatnot. The women empowerment factor is just amazing. How did you come to create this?
You know, the most important part at one point was that I was looking to forgive somebody and I didn't know how to do it. Do it the ABC, how to forgive. So I was really in the moment that I was feeling completely different. It's like let's share this with the world how people can have the tools to forgive, really the steps. And I was, let's do a TV show. And is no, let's do first a novel. So this novel is only to try to provide all the listeners and the readers inspiration for them to begin to see how is the process for you to really understand what is awareness, gratitude, forgiveness, acceptance, and then intention to manifest anything that you want.
Some of the stories were powerful from the women in on the YouTube that I watched. I can't wait to read the book itself because I think it's gonna be even more powerful. What made the two of you decide to do it together? That's a huge piece of this.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think really it more than deciding is that we were going through the transformation together. That when Rocio decided that she wanted to take courses and read more books, it was coinciding with my exit from my corporate career. And it just seemed like a great thing that we should do together. I also needed purpose in my life. She was looking for forgiveness. I was looking for purpose. And so it's a long story, but when we first met 25 years ago, we were colleagues at work. And so we always enjoyed working with each other and had always been looking for an opportunity to work together again. And it just hadn't presented itself. And all of a sudden, we're taking these courses, we're reading books. We read hundreds of books about everything related to self help and energy and consciousness. And we would come out of classes or finish a book and look at each other is this for real? Like
Mhm.
how we're feeling, we just felt lighter, and it just life got a lot easier. And so really the growth was happening to us at the same time, and that led us to more understanding. Our marriage improved. Our daughters, we have teen daughters, they started to change as well. So it really became a joint collaboration in growth.
That's
And
amazing.
and it was so simple for it to flow. um,
Mhm.
Everyone in the world has trauma, but
Mhm.
we don't know how to really go out of that stage. So at one point, I lost my mom when I was 20 years old. Mentally, probably I was like 14.
hmm,
So at one point, took me 30 years to understand all the process and how you go out of what is trauma. And forgiveness is one key element for us to experiment. So really, we were really lucky and really blessed, very successful because we've been living in Mexico, Miami, Hong Kong, London, now LA, and the corporate career was absolutely fantastic. But at one point, is not we discovered that is not all. And when you feel better and you feel more empowered, then is limitless what you can achieve. And that's
I
what
I
I
agree.
so important to share with everyone, all your listeners, your viewers, how is possible to do it. And we are an example. We are nobody. And then we were able to do it.
And I love having people on like yourselves. That's it's so truth. I work within corporate America during the day, and this is always my fun side gig. But it is very limiting. You're very heavy at the end of the day. You feel non-creative. It's difficult, and I've been times where I've worked within corporate America that I've left, and during those times that I've left, and I was just kind of on my own, I was weightless. Like I everything that I did, I achieved fast because you're not weighed down anymore. So yeah, limiting taking yourself away from environments like that, but not always can we do that when it comes to money. So um, but if there's other techniques that people like yourselves share with us, help us get through the day, even if we have to stay within that world of work.
And
So
yeah, I mean, so one of the things that we discovered was how, as Rocio mentioned, how limitless we are, but only after we shed everything that weighs us down, right? And sometimes it's a 9 to 5 job, but it's not the 9 to 5 job. It's something that maybe it's limiting, that it's not necessarily connected to your ultimate purpose on this earth. And so you're misaligned, if you will, because some people do work 9 to 5 and it's the greatest thing for them. That's when you find that purpose. And for us, the beauty was when we realized that we had to shed, and we were able to do it through gratitude, forgiveness, acceptance, and became aware of all these things that we could do differently, do better. And better is a tricky word because it's not about judgment, but really just that it could be improved. That's when we realized that there was something that was misaligned in us. And in my case, the way I now explain it is when I realized that my thoughts, my words, my emotions, and my actions were all firing in different directions, really, it weakened me. The moment that I aligned those, I started to feel more power, more energy, creativity opened up, so much to the point where two unknown people, right, sat down and conceived the book and connected to that, and I love your podcast. It's Unexplained Realms.
mhm.
That unexplained realm that we don't quite really grasp because we're disconnected from it, but it's there for the taking. And that's exciting.
I agree. Very exciting. And I think what you just said is really truly what's wrong with people in the world. We are misaligned all the way around. And there's so many things coming at us from different directions, the media, the news, TikTok, whatever we're seeing out there, that our brain is saying one thing, our mouth is saying something else, and everybody just becomes frustrated and angry. And then you have the world as it is now. So
Right.
um, I think if we should all take classes to learn how to realign ourselves. The world would probably be a happier place.
For
Maybe.
sure. Yeah, because happy people will lead to a happier world.
Right. I think sometimes people like to stay in that state of chaos, like sitting in their own junk and staying there because it becomes like safe in a sense. Like they
Yeah.
it's like I'm sitting in my own junk, but it's safe here. At least I know I can control my anger. Well, not my anger, but the chaos around me. Stepping out of that and trying to um, be a better person, align yourself with other people's needs as well. That's hard work, and most people don't want to do it. So,
That's why we put in the novel, instead of a self help book, is a novel that when you read it, you receive inspiration of how to do it. And really, the most important part there is compassion. Compassion to
Mm.
everyone. ourselves, the people who they don't know better because they've been uh, they don't know that they can achieve different. Really, I was trying so hard for so many years, and I did so many mistakes that I learned. And at one point today, I'm aware and I know that I can change those mistakes. And I have the words to explain how to do it. How really can you move from one part to another? And I know how to hold a space for somebody who is learning to go out of their comfort zone because feels weird, feels
Mm,
uncomfortable. You don't know really, and then it's lonely because
mm,
it's yourself to go inside of you. And that's why it's so important this space that you are providing for people to understand and to begin to listen. If they see that nobody can do it, and it's like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it. And that's the point.
Mhm. Now, on your YouTube, there's a lot of women that were telling their stories. How do you come upon them? Do they find you? Do you find them?
wow. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. Many as any other new entrepreneur would or writer, you start reaching out to your immediate circles, right?
Hmm.
So we would start telling people, we told the whole world, anybody we can find, we wrote a book, it's amazing, please read it. At that moment it was please read it. But there's been also other people who have basically there was I'll tell you two different
Start.
stories. A African American woman from Massachusetts basically hears about the book from her daughter, reads the book, and she's now in her 60s. And she read the book and she's like, I've never written to an author before, but I've read so many books in my lifetime. And this is the first time that I'm going to write to somebody. And she basically said, you've written in one book all of my emotions, all of my feelings, all of my dreams, all of my fears. And it's like, oh my gosh, how beautiful. Here we are bawling and crying.
Oh,
Another woman was passing by a restaurant where we were having a presentation in Mexico City, sees the cover of the book, and kind of like it hits her. It's like, what is this? I need to read this. So she downloaded the audiobook and again later on reached out to us and now become like a friend, an ambassador of the message because it touched her so deeply. So it's been everywhere and everything.
that's amazing. I experience similar things with my show. I have people that reach out, obviously, for different statements, like, but it is amazing when you do something or tell a story and it inspires someone else or it moves them, and that's amazing, you know? So,
Yes.
um, yeah, no, I got stuck on your YouTubes, just like I couldn't stop. I was like, wow, lots of various stories from different women, but all so profound, and it it does give you inspiration because you're hearing from just regular women, you know, and what they've gone through, their traumas, and how they've moved through them. So powerful stuff. Anything else you really want readers, listeners to know about this book?
That we have the privilege to be the guardians of this message. Is not we did it. It's something that came and we really move to do it for them to take.
I will add something, and we alluded to this before. You did as well. It's scary. It's difficult to go and pluck the spine from your body, or to go to that little dark place or dark box where you've hidden away. You know,
Pain.
trauma, pain, experiences, hurt. And what we wanted to do, because look, we're both survivors of sexual abuse. We've gone through difficult situations, single mothers. I mean, you name it, right?
I, I tried to end my life too.
Mm,
And then, no, very deep, so many challenge. so many challenges. At one point, I was a friend of mine is like, "Oh, Rocio, everything happens to you," and I was, "Yes, I know. I want that to stop." And that's, I think, was only to come here today and say again, if I did it, who I have not support at all, and I break with the pattern of pain, victimhood, and poverty and insecurities, all of them is like you know, anyone can do it. Because again, it's not that I'm special, it's only that at one point I was really, when I understand that the growth is when you go in the uncomfort, then I begin to be comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Mm,
Right. I think you talk about ending life and whatnot. And I think those who have experienced that, when you recover from it, truly recover and understand why and what took you to that place, you become powerful. You become powerful.
yeah,
Because if you did the work to try and find out, like, why did I end up on that cliff? Why am I trying to throw myself off the cliff? And
yeah,
once you go head on into why you did it, you literally become powerful. And I think just hearing you guys' traumas, you've probably done your work. You came to them, you faced them, and now you become powerful and you have a message for other people. So I think listeners, watchers, you're experiencing hardships in life, pick this book up because these two are powerful at this point. Nothing can stop them. Too.
that's so kind.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. It really is a wonderful book in which you don't have to do anything. You just have to follow the lives of these five women. There's 30 of them, but you're going to follow five. And they, through their intimate moments, sharing their experience, their thoughts, you start to see yourself in them, see aspects of your life or other people in your life in them. And through their experience, you start to feel something. And what we say is it begins as following five women, but by the time we finish, we're really following six people, the five women and you, the reader.
Mhm.
And it really just become a personal journey of transformation, and they become your friends. And in the process, you start to acquire tools that are easy tools too, you know, and tools that we all talk about, but are sometimes hidden in front of us. And that's why we call it the secret code, because really forgiveness, gratitude, all these things are really for the taking and easily accessible for all of us, but we need to do the work.
And you know what is the best part? That when you read that, when you read the novel, you understand that you are not alone.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
a lot of people are passing the same things, but we've been really shy to be vulnerable because it still hurts. But in the moment that you go and understand the big picture of your life and the game, it's like nothing else can touch me.
Mhm.
In that moment is a beautiful connection with yourself. Your heart expands the way that when you are loved for first time to somebody, but instead of putting in somebody else, is yourself.
Mm.
Mhm.
In that moment, it's like your life begins to change in a very deep way and never going back because you are really careful that you are the most important person in your life and you begin to understand how important it is to invest in yourself.
Right. I had a guest on a week or so ago, Joy Baker, and we were talking about manifestation. And I always tell people when they say I can't feel, just like what you said, imagine being in a new relationship, like that feeling, that high, and but feel that without being in a relationship. And that's how you find your power. It's how you find how to feel. So yeah, good stuff. So in the book, the women that you follow, are they characters or are they true stories from people?
The women, with the exception of one aspect of one of the women, they're really us. They're our stories. So you have these five women, that's why they feel really relatable. One is divorced. She's been divorced for 5 years and can't get over it, right? And we both experience mothers who experience that. And another,
And I've been divorced
and she's,
before, so too.
there's another one that is at the top of her game at an NGO, at a nonprofit, but she's not enjoying it because she only sees the glass half full.
Half empty.
Half empty, exactly.
Mhm.
Thank you. The other one is gay and has not been able to tell her parents at 30 that she is for fear of not being loved
And accept it.
and accepted. There's another one, a model that was sexually abused in her line of work at 16 years old and is still dealing with the trauma, even though she's happily married, dealing with the trauma and the aftermath of that. And there's another one that is angry at the world because she's had to fight for everything with tooth and nail, and so that's the only way she knows how to relate to the world around her. And so these are the women, and they all come to this wonderful spa, which is it's fictitious, but it's near Mount Shasta. And there they tune in into a group of women who provide a circle of just love and understanding and non-judgment,
A safe space.
a safe space for them to really go into that dark place and start saying, okay, maybe I can heal. And it doesn't happen. And the beauty is that it's a novel, so there is some friction and fiction, but unlike any other novel, the friction, it's all internal, because really that's where the pain is. That's
Mm.
where the real drama in our lives, it's internally. It's just that we think it's external, and so we blame it on things and we put the responsibility on other things because that's all we've been taught to do. But really the drama, the real one, is inside of us. And the moment you start going in and doing all that work and cleansing and loving it, because really that's the work, it's loving you so deeply that that just heals you, that they begin to access that power and they become the powerful women that they are.
I
Ah,
can I can identify with a few of those characters, so that makes sense. Like how people, when they pick up the book, they would feel inspired because I think it's the most hard for women in the world. It's just it's always been. I think we fight with more traumas. We have more reasons to fear things than men do. So, any thoughts on like another version or a second, like a carrying on the book, or maybe an entirely different book? Oh yeah, uh,
yes, is the book is the beginning on a journey, a beautiful journey, and we want this to be a TV show. For what reason? Because when you read the book, the intention is you feel great about who you are today. And without any judgment, you can move from this way of thinking to
Mm,
another way of thinking. So when we can begin to grasp and to see how incredible it is to heal ourselves, our relationship, the lineage, and begin to have this community and this language and understanding, then what we want to do is to create more stories to empower people to feel high, high and really with possibilities, expanding their mind, expanding the anything. And that is the most important part that we want to do. Do you want to add something?
yeah, I think, look, and it's so exciting that you watch some of our podcasts with these amazing women. one of the things that we're going to do for the second season of the podcast is to dedicate it all to men who have read the book and are also experiencing their own transformation. Because I believe that what's happening in the world is that really over the past 5, 6, 700 years, we've been punishing the female energy and keeping it down and tied down, and it needs to be unleashed and unleashed so that it's like the two legs on a body, on our human body anyway, where we're both standing with those two columns firmly on the ground. We're walking with one leg, essentially. And so we need the feminine energy both in the world, in the women, but also in the men to be healed so that we're more equitable, more balanced in our decision making, in our acts, in our behavior. And I think that's happening already. I mean, look at me. I feel that. And I've come across many men who do as well. And I think this is part of the healing of our world that needs to happen for that. And that's why we've really dedicated the first book to, modern goddesses, because it really is about the feminine energy first, at least
Yeah,
in this conversation.
right. I always find it odd how women are not in more power in the world. I mean, we create life, for crying out loud. Like, I mean, when you really step back and look at birth itself, I mean, a human comes from our body. Like, how crazy that we don't have more power and voice, and men aren't. Not to be cliche, but why aren't men worshiping women? I mean, without women, they wouldn't be here. They would be able to, I think, succeed more and have more empathy and just softness if they really focused on feminine power more than the masculine power that we see in the world. So now, do you guys do? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, what I want to say is we are healing, and we are healing, and we need to teach more people to heal. What happened 5 seconds ago doesn't matter anymore. So we need to move forward.
Hmm.
Is really why we keep looking to the past when we can now feel good about ourselves and really look forward, because what we look in the present is until you don't heal your past, you cannot fully move forward. So the best part is to take this very seriously, but not, because it's not difficult, you are not alone, and have joy. When you are investing in yourself, is with joy, with really understanding that this not, doesn't need to be terrible and difficult. But when you feel fantastic about yourself and you forgive all your past and anything that happened, then in that moment you are free. And freedom comes to do whatever you want later, because if not, you are creating for a place of lack, not for a place of abundance.
Right. Do you guys do speaking events or anything like that where people can really tell me more about that?
Yeah, it's an evolving thing. We have focused for almost the entirety of our time over the past. The book was published February of last year, of 24. So we've been focused on making sure that the book is widely distributed and available, and we're still doing that. We're self-published, so it takes a little bit more energy and time.
Mhm.
But what's happening is that as people are reading the book, as they're connecting, we're adapting the book and its message to different audiences. So, for example, we're doing speaking engagements focus on how this five key lessons, right? Awareness, gratitude, forgiveness, acceptance, and intention are tools that you can use to be a conscious entrepreneur, to be a better parent, to be a better businesswoman, because ultimately, when you anchor those in your life and you apply the learnings of those experiences, really they change the way you look at the world and everything around you. And not only that, I mean, obviously, and again, we're in a podcast called Unexplained Realms.
Mhm.
Energy that emanates from you when you are aligned starts to change people even if you don't even look at them, because you're just a walking ball of positivity, of love, and that impacts people just by being around you, just by
Mhm.
knowing that you exist, and by listening to your words, no matter where they are. They could be on the other side of the world. And so we're looking for more opportunities to share that. And yes, they're popping up more and more. So it happens.
Yeah, that's amazing. I look forward to like a male version in your podcast, like a little bit more of male voices, because that's going to be powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, with the book, you've got another. You said maybe another one coming or an idea behind it. Is it similar to this, or is it? Or are you just going to keep it under wraps?
Well, I mean, look, we're looking at many things. There's many stories. The book, as it happens, is this, right? The spa in which these women go. We are not even speaking. We spend a little bit of time explaining the origin of the spa and the woman who founded it, who went through her own traumas, but had, more of economic abundance to travel the world and look at the wisdoms that really reside everywhere in the world, right? Because that's the beauty of the world, that when you pay attention and you open yourself up, the answers come to you because they're everywhere. And there's also healers from all over the world that came to this place, and they have powerful stories. They're all from different backgrounds, so that also can be explored. But also
And
one
how they became
and
healers.
how they became healers as well. And
Mhm.
perhaps one of the other things is there's so many women out there whose stories need to be told,
Yes.
whose stories of healing and growth and expansion are either similar or even more exciting than some of the stories that we're telling. So we'd love to tell those stories too. And so we're open. We're really just trying to become, as Rocio said, conduits of this greater message, however it chooses to present itself. And so, yeah, there'll be more. And of
Yeah.
course, the TV will keep us busy. Uh,
Mhm.
I want to reiterate what Rocio said. We want to make sure that we're telling stories that leave the people who hear them and who read them better than the story found them. And that's the goal, that people are like, whoa. And not just, what a great story I just saw. It's, wow, that story told me so much about me and how great I am. That's what we want
Right.
people to feel after reading the book.
I am. I'll speak sometimes on our discussion episodes. Like I also went through some pretty horrific trauma at a young age. I don't get into it too much because of my day job, but I don't really want things out there too much. But over the years, one of the things that I did to heal was spoke on panels for other young women who had similar issues. And every time I spoke or every time I touched someone or helped them heal, it was like more power. I gained more power behind myself, like propelling myself forward. So I think that showcasing healers and helping people heal is going to lift us all up. You guys, the rest of everybody else, more and more people getting healed. Can you imagine what the world would look like?
I
Yeah, we
know.
can't imagine it for sure.
For sure, we can imagine, and that's why it's so important the consciousness of every person, because matters how you feel and what vibration you are. If you feel heavy, how you can begin. If you see on us that we feel lighter and we feel empowered, and you can see that is because it's already inside of you. But now it's like how I can get it, how I can get it. So that's the most beautiful part of the transformation. Enjoy the process.
Do you ever do one-on-one sessions with people that you meet or you come across like teaching them how to heal. Like some people come to me and I'm like, I'm not an expert. I have no idea, but you guys are a little more like, focused on it, and I would say more expert. So,
Oh,
do you have people say, "I don't understand. Teach me how to do this." Like, do you help people in that way? Like,
Yes, now we teach people how to do it through the novel. The
mhm,
novel has exercise exactly because what they are learning there. Look, and at one point we did a master in spiritual psychology. We read 200 books. We spend so much time and so much money to access to this knowledge that is here, like in the top. And what we want is that information pass here
to trickle down.
to do.
mhm,
You see?
mhm,
Why we are putting all that information for people to see it in a book who is only 24.99
mhm,
instead of paying 30,000, 40,000 for really access this information. And when I was going to therapy or to different healers, the healers cannot tell you all of them the blueprint of what to expect or how to do it. So it's important that when you don't have the money, at least you can access to the knowledge. And little by little, you in your house, you can go to that spa that the noble is inviting you. Because it's not only for the rich and famous. No, no, no. It's for anyone who is open to receive the knowledge.
There's a great saying. It comes from the Bible that says, give somebody a fish, and they will eat for one day. Teach them how to fish, and they'll eat for a lifetime. And one of the important things that we believe in is that the answers are inside of you. And when you tap into you, when you really make space and time, and maybe it's 1 minute of meditation, maybe it's just a silent walk in the, by the ocean or under a tree. When you tap into you, the universe gives you answers to those questions. So really the most important thing, and we will see, we don't do professional coaching per se, but we don't deny anyone who's coming in front of us. We end up speaking with someone like, yesterday we were having a drive and we bought fruit from a stand across the road. And we ended up staying there 45 minutes having a conversation with someone that was deep about forgiveness and acceptance. And so, in a way, that is our coaching, if you will.
right.
But
It
the most
sounds,
important thing is it's available through the book, and that's what we want people to do because in the
mhm,
book, people put their guard down because they're just reading a story and it's easier to swallow.
yeah, I agree. That chance meeting at a fruit stand, that sounds universal. It was put in front of you. I think the book, you everybody go buy it. It's I can't wait to read it. But I think that there's a larger path here. Yeah, you guys are on a larger path for not just the novel, but healing, helping. There's not enough of us in the world that would speak these kind of healing words, and there needs to be. So um, that's amazing. I cannot wait to read this. I got to peek at it a little, but I didn't actually get to read the whole thing. But I forgot what I was gonna had another thought. But anyway, anything else you guys want to have out there about this process, the journey, the book?
I think it's important to reiterate to the people who are listening, it feels really, really difficult, but we're more powerful than our thoughts. And we would love to encourage you to acquire the book. The first chapter is available online, both in audiobook and read in
And
YouTube
in English and
in
Spanish.
English and Spanish. The audiobook is really beautiful so that you can get a sense for whether it resonates with you. A few things that are really important. The book is non-judgmental. This is not about, oh, how did you, why did you? This is really about you saying, I want to change. I'm at a point in my life where I need change and I've been looking for it and I just need more help or I want more points of contact. As a reminder, we read hundreds of books and each one of them added a little bit of that piece of the puzzle that gives us a view. But the beauty of it is what we've said. It really is soft, is kind. It is in the energy of love. If I may, Anne, can I read just the dedication to give you a
Absolutely. You can read anything you want. I'm
ah,
excited to hear this. So,
Thank you.
thank you. Well, look, the dedication is very short and it says, to all who journey through these pages, may you be inspired to rewrite your own narrative and live a life of love, free of limitations, and enriched by the knowledge that you are powerful beyond belief. That's what we hope the reader walks away with, the understanding that there's so much going on around us and makes us feel little, makes us feel powerless,
Disconnect.
disconnected from each other. But the truth is that you are powerful beyond belief. And when you tap into that power, but yes, you do have to do a little bit of work. Forgive, let go. The Buddhists say that when we don't forgive, it's like walking with a hot coal in our hands, looking for that person that hurt us with the intention of throwing it at that person. And the fact is, you almost never find the person. And if you throw it, you probably miss. The only person that gets hurt is you. But when you throw away the coal and you say, I am not going to carry it anymore, you reclaim that power. And that's power you're giving away to whatever. You need to ask yourself, what am I giving my power to? It could be an addiction, it could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be a job, it could be food. Reclaim your power. And all of a sudden, that power is available for you to now start using it for what? For your dreams, for your aspirations, for the life that you really want to live.
it's so true. I talked about this in one of my other episodes. Like my trauma that I went through, it took a minute, like to things are spiraling. I just can't figure out life. I don't know what to do. And I just said one day, I'm done with this. What I want is this, this, and this out of life. So once I threw it away, like I told that last guest, it came back like a boomerang with power for me. Like, and I was able to springboard through life. And yeah, we have to learn. But if you don't know how and you just feel stuck, this is why you would go buy this book. So helping you learn.
Thank you so much. And really, what I've been discovered, and I was at one point when I was feeling so good, I was telling a friend who she was in the same journey and feeling great. And it's like, why people are not like working more in themselves. This message needs to be spread to everyone. And she was, I don't understand. This sounds like when a dog has a seal, ¿cómo llamas?
A whistle.
A whistle
Mm.
for a dog. And some people come. Not everyone want to come and see. They don't want to see that cabinet that they put things that for them is feels super difficult to conquer. And now that I conquer them, that's why it's so important to have this a group of people. It's like a read the book with friends who can each other live up
A trusted circle.
a trusted circle because is we need the space for ourselves and our friends to really understand that this journey can be fantastic without judging anyone. No one is perfect, no one knows everything, I know more and I know less. And it's this humbleness, vulnerability that when recite the power. You want to say something?
No, I mean it's just it feels. I'm sure someone watching says, "Oh gosh, I'm never going to feel like these guys are crazy." And that's how we used to feel. Except you start little by little, right? And look, one exercise. And again, these exercises are in the book for everybody to use because they're simple. But one exercise is looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, "I love you," but doing it long enough for it to be truly felt in that deepest, bottom, most dark part of that little body of yours that doesn't think that love is achievable, deserved, warranted. And so we asked the women in the book to say it using a mala, to say it 108 times so that the first 20 probably don't feel real, but then by the time you're on 30 and 40, you start to feel something really deep when you're looking at yourself in your eyes in the mirror and you're saying, I love you unconditionally, you are the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And we don't talk to ourselves that way, yet we're so willing to tell a friend some kind word, and we forget that the biggest friend that we have is ourselves. So that's just an example of the exercises. That's why they're really simple.
That is truly something that works for people. I know I come across people that are like, "Oh my God, some of your guests, that's so crazy." Well, maybe you should actually listen or try it because
Yeah.
through my journey and my healing and just being okay in the world, I had when you go through trauma, whatever it is, sometimes you blame yourself and you literally can't even look in the mirror. You just can't. And when you force yourself to, and I had to force myself, look at the mirror, study yourself, love yourself, every little piece of flaw, blemish, because no one else is going to love you the way you love you. Because this is it on this earth. We are this body, this mind. We need to love it. But yeah, looking in the mirror is profound, and forcing yourself to do it. It's hard, but
My
I
God.
think doing it regularly, it becomes easier. And once you overcome that part where I can't look in the mirror anymore, everything else kind of opens up and you're able to move forward with your healing. So,
Yes.
excellent guidebook for people that need to heal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Consider yourself an athlete.
oh,
And right, no one ever woke up one day and said, I've never ran before, but I'm going to run a marathon today. That doesn't happen. But if you start slowly and a few minutes of running every day, and then you add up a few more and you start eating better and so on. So, really, the connection with yourself is similar. Start gentle, start small, be kind, find the love within. It's there. Keep searching, keep staring at that mirror and wait. And all of a sudden, you one day you'll be like, oh, I don't know what that was, but I felt for a little bit of time, I felt better, like relieved. And it starts adding up. But really read the book because the book really takes you by the hand so gently that ultimately those experiences happen almost unbeknownst to you. And but when you look back, you're like, so many women have come to us and said, I remember things about my past that I had forgotten simply because I allowed myself.
Everyone has a different journey.
Yeah,
It's like 80 different journeys out there. So really is that's why it's so important to don't compare ourselves to no one.
right.
Only compare yourself with yourself and have this connection with you because somebody did it. For example, now I see my daughters that at 19 and 17 they have this information. So they gonna have a different experience in life.
mhm.
So I saw my mom die when she was 48. So she didn't have any tools and she was totally sad. So I saw somebody who died of depression, and I saw my life how from being in a lost cause and no one understand me what happened to, oh, I know now and I can understand and I can give the tools to more people for them to have to understand, to have compassion, to really provide safe space, and not always needs to be you need to pay, or I don't know. So that's why it's so important to have these conversations and
Hmm.
help
I,
people to understand.
I agree with you're saying with, our parents. What we see from them is what we learn. And if they were struggling through our childhood and no one ever teaches us that we can step out of that, then we will struggle.
Yes,
Um, People like yourselves and myself, my children, I know, are 100% more armed and educated than I ever was. Um, I have several kids. Two of them are adults in the world already, and one's still at home. But their experience and their journey has never been as hard as mine was, ever. And I feel like it's because what I went through, I learned, and I was able to share with them, hey, wait, don't do this because. So we definitely can be stuck in a generational trauma because of our, not that our parents were bad or horrible, but whatever they didn't know how to get through, they couldn't teach us. So,
and that's why it's super important to empower women, because a women like yourself can heal a family, themselves, then the family, and then all the circle. And look how a powerful woman like yourself can do. So imagine all of us really looking in the same direction of support, sisterhood, and for a place of love.
circling back to what you had said earlier about having like the safe group of friends, or even if it's just one, I really miss having that. I don't find myself with too many around me these days. I'm pretty busy, but having a safe space with people that are maybe going through different journeys. I mean, just because you're not going through the same thing they're going through doesn't mean you can't assist each other. So I
Yes,
think your book promotes that camaraderie, and it's
yes,
helpful.
We have found that there's a lot of people who are reading it as families. We have a number of families who are reading it. We have a number of women friends who are reading it as a book club.
How fun.
There is fathers and daughters, mothers and daughters, daughters and mothers. And so there's something also deeper to that, which is not only is it great for you to share that journey with others, think about this cosmically and energetically, right? There is stuck energy in all of us. The moment that you start unstocking that energy, all of a sudden, this is energy that is now available for the taking, for the exploitation, for living. And so, if you're able to do it with a larger group of people, the ripple effect
Hmm.
is that much greater, and therefore, so is the energy available for use. And so, do it for all of those reasons. And look, there's always going to be someone who says, I don't know, this always sounds so woo woo or whatever. In our book, the first lesson is awareness. And in awareness, we talk about limiting beliefs, but specifically, we talk about looking at yourself. And all we're really saying is take a moment to observe yourself as if you were observing yourself on a theater. You're in the audience and you're looking at you and you're like, why is Angel talking that way? Where does it come from? Why does he react? Why does he feel that way? And if you like what you see, by all means, continue doing it. This is more for the people who are looking at themselves and saying, I don't really like that about me. Or I've become my mom, or I've become my dad, or I've become whatever. If there is a chance that you are in that place, then the offer of the book is, well, would you consider changing it? And if you the answer is yes, here's some ways in which you can do that.
Mhm.
And so that really is the process.
It's amazing. We're heading into the hour mark here. So,
Yes.
is there anything else that you guys want to just share about the book, about the journey?
It's
Um,
a privilege to be here.
Yes.
well, thank you. It's amazing to have you guys on. So, yeah, amazing. I love the book cover. It's very beautiful. And orchids. Any specific reason why the title, the orchid? What is there?
Yes, yes. It's like a remember, orchids are really feminine, and there are more than 30,000 around the world. And what we want to convey is every woman is beautiful and special by themselves already, that the
Mm.
way they are today. So we don't need to try to fix the box that people put there in the commercials and things like that. No, no, no. On the contrary, is let's celebrate difference. Let's celebrate how beautiful we are.
Mhm. Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, I will have your links. I know it's on Amazon and there's a couple other places I found it. So I'll throw those links in the show notes on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever else. You guys don't have a website, do you?
We do. It's www.theorchidbook.com.
Okay, I'll throw that in there as well for people to click on. And anytime you want to come back, just let me know. It'll be fun.
Well, if you please share your address with us later, and so that we can mail you a special copy of the book. We would love for you to read it, and hopefully,
We can have a conversation.
yeah, we can have a
Yeah,
conversation with
maybe
you.
come back and we'll have a conversation episode about it. I did email you my address, so I look
Oh,
forward.
fantastic.
I will read it immediately, and you're going to hear from me afterwards.
Amazing. Thank you for the space and for the beautiful, beautiful
Welcome.
conversation.
Thank you. All right. I see you guys later.
Thank you.
Ciao.